Welcome to Beers with Brian. And I'm Brian. Alright, this is the inspection edition. Thanks again for tuning in. Apologies for our technical difficulties last week. You know, things happen. So, what is up this week at BBCO? Well, let's see. Nationally, we are still working out who our president's going to be, and looks like we're going to see a little bit of post-election battle, so that's really awesome. I can't wait to get through that. Purdue, as you noticed from last week, I'm a Purdue fan. Purdue football, 2-0, first time since 2007, I think. It's been a long time since we've been undefeated. Oh, and here at BBCO, we are super close to getting opened up. It is now time for a series of inspections. We got fire inspection, we got building inspection, we got health department inspection. Lots of inspections coming down the pipe this coming week. Once we get past those, we can order food, we can bring our new staff on, and we can serve you delicious food, all right? So we are like excited about that. I hope you're excited about that. Speaking of food, here's a little sneak peek. Don't freeze the frame. This is a sneak peek of our menu. Got some good things on here. We're doing the pretzel and beer cheese. EMT has graciously shared their beer cheese recipe with us, so we are like super stoked to have that on the menu. One of the best ones I've ever had. We're gonna have the brokerage burger featuring white cheddar. We're using Hammerstone locally raised ground beef, thin sliced pickled red onions, and maybe some spicy ketchup on top. So that'll be a good one. Or if you're not into buns and rolls, which will be homemade here at Brokerage Bring, we're gonna have keto chicken. Keto chicken. So we'll have some grilled chicken tossed with Brussels sprouts, spinach, avocado, onions, peppers, tomato, drizzle with balsamic. It's just going to be a bowl full of yumminess if you are low carbonate. And if you are lucky enough to be friends with my sister, you may have saw our brownie sundae samples that we did this last weekend. Brownie sundaes, hot fudge sauce, a little bit of creme anglaise, homemade whipped cream, and some sugared almonds on top. So a lot of delicious food coming very, very soon. All right, so time for my weekly beer recommendation. Today is another hazy. We're going with the Hop Cone King. This is a 6.1% alcohol and 25 IBUs. Cashmere, Simcoe, and Mackinac hops, which are citrusy, as usual, for a hoppy, hazy IPA. Tropical, a little melon, papaya, a little fudge. No, not fudge. Mackinac hops, not Mackinac fudge. There is a very delicious Mackinac fudge beer out there from Founders KBS. Delicious, but oh yeah, classic Corey hazy IPA here. So warm you up on a nice cold fall evening. And speaking of which, let's talk about alcohol a little bit here for a second. First off, does it keep you warm? That's like the myth, like, right? You get yourself a nice hot toddy, it keeps you warm. The alcohol warms you on the inside, but that is a myth, right? Beer and alcohol is a vasodilator, which means it opens up your blood vessels, which means the heat is escaping your body. It'll lower your core temperature. So unless you're in front of a big roaring fire pit or a propane heater that's keeping you warm, alcohol will not keep you warm. What about like alcohol flavors? Some beers tend to have like a hot alcohol flavor. Think like paint thinner or acetone, and it gives you sort of that hot sensation in your throat, right? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Most beers, that's a bad thing. We don't want that. That's an off flavor. Perhaps in a barley wine or a strong ale, a little bit of that is okay. I tend to notice it in bourbon barrel aged beers. It might just be a mental thing that I'm connecting that bourbon flavor with like kind of thing, and so that's what I'm getting. But generally off flavor, and you don't want it. How does that happen? Typically it happens during fermentation. If you let fermentation go uncontrolled, it'll get really high temperatures, get really hot, and that high temperature creates those hot alcohol flavors. So we use glycol in our brew house to hold the temperatures at 60 to 70 for fermentation and keep it in check. That slows the fermentation down, but also keeps those off flavors from developing. We actually had a day a year ago where the power went out here, the glycol system shut off, and the beer, Pumpy I think it was, got into about 80 or 90 degrees during fermentation, and we had to dump the batch, which was really sad because Pumpy's a great beer and we don't get it very often, but it was just too hot in the flavors, so that's high quality for you. All right. So this week at BBCO, tonight EMT, next week Guac Box and EMT, and perhaps Chef Dan on Saturday might be the last food truck before we open our kitchen. So a couple more chances for you to support the food trucks that we love. And so I think that's it. Like, subscribe, mask up if you got it, comment down below, and all the things. Cheers.